What is a time where you felt that you failed that you learned a valuable lesson from?
That's such a hard question. Getting divorced was a big lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come? What happened?
For a long time, you know, like in your 20s and 30s, like getting married was a big goal, and I got married. And then I realized that that's not everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned through being married was that knowing who you are, knowing your values, and knowing your non-negotiables is so much more important than anything else. It could be more important than the person that you love. And that was a huge lesson for me.
So do you think you didn't know yourself before getting married?
I think I didn't really know how important my values were to me before I got married.
What is true love like, in your opinion?
When I find out, I'll let you know.
Why did it not work, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I wanted to work so much that I was willing to overlook aspects of him and myself that didn't align with my true values. And that's why it didn't work.
She divorced him, took everything, bragged about being free, and 8 years later, the average divorce cost her $7,000 plus half her sanity. Now she's crying on camera that she regrets it. Of course she does. The wall is undefeated, and regret always arrives exactly when it's too late to fix anything.
This liberal feminist just got schooled badly.
Maybe you just think that women should be equally represented in the decision-making fora of our nation.
I don't understand your question, I guess.
I guess you don't. That's pretty obvious, unfortunately.
Well, how about if you phrase it more clearly instead of just insulting me? Look at it this way. Let's talk about quotas for a minute. So there's a very wide array of jobs that are fundamentally done by men. 99.9% of bricklayers are men. Should we have quotas for women?
Is bricklaying representative democracy?
That has nothing to do with the question. The question is if there's evidence of structural inequality and oppression because women aren't precisely represented at 50% in all professions at all levels, then why don't we have a conversation about having women represented in all professions at all levels? Why do we talk about politics and positions of power? Why don't we talk about it across the board?
She wants all the power, all the privilege, all the safety nets, but zero dangerous jobs, zero heavy lifting, zero accountability. That's not equality. That's special treatment with extra steps. The hypocrisy is actually disgusting.
90% of women do regret for filing up for divorce. Yes, you didn't want to live with this man, but you really deep in your heart were not ready for the divorce and for a breakup. The true reason why this breakup and divorce happened is because you didn't have energy to influence and impact your man. Because deep in our heart, ladies, we want all to change our men to be a better version of themselves. That's all we want. We're wired for that. However, the only way you can influence your man to change is by start working on yourself. Once you change, your man gonna start sooner or later changing and reflecting you. But please know, if you are right now putting all of your effort to change him, it's not gonna go well. He will just resist, and you'll have more and more arguments and fights.
Women from 20 to 45 still throw full-blown tantrums like toddlers when they don't get their way. The second reality hits and no one wants them anymore. The mask slips and the screaming starts. The grass was never greener. It was always over the septic tank.
Please, please. My life has been torn upside down. We are a one-income household. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Please don't threaten, and please don't try to call my husband's place of work. You're just gonna make it worse.
Oh.
This is my life. And I never, in a million years, would have thought that this would blow up the way it did.
Well, it did. The community that was supporting this woman's cause, the feminine anger, wanted retribution, wanted revenge on her husband. Please, for the love of God, the earth, everything on it, and possibly your own outcomes, do not post your issues online.
They're wired for instant gratification, instant happiness, instant luxury, instant perfect man. They want everything handed to them while bringing nothing but attitude and a body count. That's why they crash and burn the moment real life shows up.
Worse, and then complaining that they're not getting enough of the man's money and you're like looking at her like, you dingbat. First of all, nobody wants you out here on the dating market. I hate to break it to you. Like, what? Like, you FOMO'd at 50 and you got kids, like, don't nobody want you. Then on the other side, it's like, you would have had more money if you stayed with him. Okay? Okay? If you file for divorce and you don't get a payout, the only people that are going to be advocating for you and being like, no, you need to take him, sis. Get him for everything. Like, those are some toxic women. Like, probably narcissistic women.
Social conditioning turned women into professional victims who will defend their delusions to the death. Institutions, influencers, and corporations fed them the lie that they can have it all without sacrifice. The result? Broken families and millions of miserable cat ladies wondering where it went wrong. You were married for 5 minutes and already divorced. Commitment was never your strong suit. Life is hard and marriage is harder. Stop asking what your partner can do for you and start asking what you can do for your partner every single day. This generation treats vows like TikTok trends.
There's been a lot of questions of why I've gotten divorced. And although I don't owe anyone anything, I do understand that people are very curious. As far as the really deep personal reasoning, I don't think that that's something that needs to be shared on the internet as of now.
Why do these women feel the need to broadcast every detail of their failed lives to strangers? The narcissism is off the charts. Nobody cares about your journey except the other bitter women liking your sob story.
Tomorrow's Christmas. I'm just crying because of how hard it's been. And I feel like I'm trying to prove to myself that I can be strong this year. It's really painful dealing with the loss of everything and simultaneously dealing with these family pre-connections. I haven't spent Christmas with my family in 10 years, maybe. I don't know. Maybe less. I don't. And it's all this stress and anxiety. I'm dealing with that. And also, having this.
What?
This.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
She bragged about being the youngest divorced in her friend group, posted celebration photos, then years later cries that she misses the husband she proudly destroyed. That's what daddy issues look like when the mask finally cracks.
Tomorrow is officially one of the biggest and most important days of my entire life. Tomorrow is my divorce day. And it's been a lot, to say the least. I have been doing a lot of legal documents and research in preparation for this tomorrow. This moment I have equally dreaded and looked forward to for over a year now. And the fact that it is now coming to an end officially tomorrow is mind-blowing. I cannot wait to close this chapter and to officially begin this new chapter for myself. Very exciting things happening in the near future. I am heading back to Europe very, very, very soon. And this is a big moment for me. Very, very pivotal, very scary. But I'm so impressed and proud of myself that I have been able to get through this divorce alone. And to be 25 years old and doing something of this caliber is huge. So I have a lot of self-respect and self-love for what I've been processing and going through recently. I am the youngest out of my friends to be married, and now I'm the youngest out of my friends to be divorced. So I'm going to hold that with a lot of pride.
When she's vague, always demand facts. She stays vague because facts would prove she's the problem 100% of the time. Some women never realize they lost a good man. Others realize it way too late when the wall hits and the options disappear. Daddy issues don't age well.
You will find over and over again the bachelorette parties, the girls' night out, all of that stuff looking shady as it comes. They get sloppy as they drink. They kind of forget that guy at home. Or they maybe don't make out with anyone or do anything, but they get phone numbers, or they get guys coming over to them, or they get their free drinks, or they do their little grinding dance. And it's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas moment, right? Right? They don't go there unless they want attention, or they wouldn't go. Women who go out, I'm going to say it one last time, who go out, get all decked out, want to go girls' night out, and want to go to the club and shuttle home at 2 a.m., did it because they wanted to get attention from other guys. And they've got one foot out the door and they've got a roving eye.
A man will burn his own happiness to keep his family warm. A woman will burn the family to keep herself warm. That single difference explains why most divorces are initiated by women who suddenly aren't happy anymore. They get bored with the nice guy who treats them right and cheat with the toxic one who gives them drama. They're addicted to chaos and trauma like it's oxygen. Peace feels boring because they never learned how to value it.
Women have the ability to completely change into a different person based on their environment. I don't personally view this as a bad thing. This is how women survive, and it's a part of femininity. When a woman meets a man that she's falling in love with, I've seen women switch their religions for a man. I've seen women change the way they dress. I've seen women change their habits. I've seen women date personal trainers and get in shape. I've seen women that are Christian date Muslims and switch that for him. Men want the women to shape shift a little bit to cater to his life. They might learn his recipes. They might study what he likes and become complementary to his life. But the issue is when women are signaling to Christian men, oftentimes they will shape shift.
She'll put on the perfect act for a few months, then revert to baseline the second she thinks she has you locked down. Next thing you know, she's accusing you of changing her. That's not love. That's a calculated trap.
Have you ever seen that video? No. Pull that video up, because it's one of my favorite.
Was the world better when it was harder to see boobs? Women are perverts now. In fact, what's even more ironic is that as we point the finger and pretend that men are the perverts, Me Too error, it is so clearly evident everywhere that you look in society that it's actually us. We have become the sexual aggressors. Take this one example. This is a social media influencer. She was and decided to paint blue onto herself and go to the gym to see how men would react. Take a listen.
You don't have clothes on. You need to be out of here now.
I do have clothes on.
Body.
How's your body paint?
Not a body thing. I work in the industry enough to know.
Because she's a woman, somehow she thought this would be funny. What should have happened is that she should have been arrested for indecent exposure. But again, that didn't happen because men are supposed to just take it. What an absolute creep this woman is.
Equality created the biggest double standards in history. Women get unhappy faster, initiate 80% of divorces, and still expect men to pay for everything while they keep all the privileges. Candace sees through the nonsense and calls it out. Thanks for watching the Male Imperium. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.